Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey guys, we got a heated show for you. Today we're going to be talking about how most Americans don't want wokeness in sports. That seems to be like the talk of the topics on social media, mainstream touching on it. Literally a new culture, so to speak, coming into the States here. A lot of people don't want it in sports. They feel that it, not only does it show disrespecting to the fan base and people that tune into just about every type of sports, whether it's NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. They don't want the crap in sports, guys. We got a lot to talk about on that. Tune in, guys.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to today's show. Happy Sunday for everybody, guys. Gonna talk about this topic here. I wanted to bring into today's show wokeness in American sports. Does anybody want it? I sure as hell don't want to see it. And Representative Roger Williams, Republican out of Texas, is saying the same damn thing, that Americans are sick of the politics entering sports today. Blaming everything on, white privilege and, black people don't have enough opportunities as white people. I mean, folks, it's disgusting, if you ask me. Literally disgusting. And like I said, Representative Williams out of Texas is saying the same thing, which happens to be a former baseball star himself. Literally told Breitbart News during an exclusive interview at the 2022 U.S. House Republican Issues Conference. He had a lot to say. Williams, a former college baseball star who was drafted into the MLB and now serves as a manager of the Republican baseball team, offered his perspective on wokeness infiltrating America's long-loved passiveness, guys. I mean, this is crazy stuff. Literally crazy stuff. We're literally having, crap inside this, greatest sports teams all over the place. They have to deal with this crap, this wokeness. Guys, sports is a big thing in America. Literally. Roger's literally saying in an interview, that he has a baseball background and he's upset when he sees a lot of woke in everything. Quite frankly, he says, we've got a rich history. We've got some good, we've got some bad, but we learn by both, he explained. We don't need to destroy it. And I think a lot of these players who are playing today, if they had any other job in a private sector, they wouldn't be making anything what they're making today. I agree, folks. A lot of these individuals don't understand the value of a fucking dollar. They don't. At least a lot of these kids today. They don't understand the value of the freaking dollar. A lot of them don't understand how they got there, because they were fed a fucking spoon their entire lives, guys. Literally. Entire lives. Got more on the show here. I want to take a quick little break. Be right back after these words, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Patriot Unfiltered Raw.
All new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. A razor designed to give you a quick and easy shave. It combines shaving and gentle exfoliation into one efficient stroke. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades, giving you a shave as quick and easy as washing your face, so you can look like you put in an effort, effortlessly. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Sports is a big thing in America, and I have a baseball background, and you know I'm upset when I see a lot of woke in anything. Quite frankly, this is the greatest country in the world. We've got a rich history. We've got some good, we've got some bad, but we learn by both. We don't need to destroy it. And I think a lot of these players who are playing today, if they had any other job in the private sector, they wouldn't be making anything what they're making. A lot of them don't understand the value of a dollar. A lot of them don't understand how we got there. And I'm for young people. I like to say I played years ago now. But the fact of the matter is we have to understand that they are a sport. And I think to the extent sports can get out of politics is the best thing. People want to go to a baseball game or a hockey game, football game, and they want to enjoy the game and root for their team. They don't want politics involved. And so we can't keep players from making statements. But at the same time, I think there's a point in time you do not kneel for the national anthem. I don't think you wear Black Lives Matter across your shirt. That sends a political statement that fans don't want to jack.
Yeah, I agree. I agree one damn bit, guys. Rogers is right. He's right. No one wants to see this crap in fucking sports. Guys, here's my philosophy on all of it. Like I said, sports is a big thing here in America. We value the craft. We value, everything about sports, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, anything, folks. I'm just using it for example. We don't need to destroy the sport by bringing this cancel culture, wokeness in the industry. And I think a lot of players, or at least a lot of these players in these different types of organizations who are playing today, they should understand it. They should. And I think, to an extent, sports can get out of the politics for the long haul. I think it's the best thing, folks. Literally the best thing. Americans have long viewed sports as an escape, which something wokeness has completely destroyed. Literally destroyed. And we've seen that over the course of the last, 3, 4, 5 years. From corrupted politicians influencing this type of this society we have in this country today. People want to go to a baseball game or a hockey game or a football game for that matter. They want to enjoy the game and root for their team. They don't want politics involved. Politics belong in Washington. Okay? You want to talk about politics? Go ahead. But keep it up there. Don't bring it into the sports sector. Also, too, here in the interview that Representative Williams had with Breitbart earlier today, Williams also acknowledged that, we can't keep players from making statements, which you heard just briefly in the video that I plugged into today's podcast. He suggested that some of what we have seen recently crossed the line. Yeah, right? Kaepernick, with, the famous kneeling down during the national anthem. We've seen that, right? Which I think anybody that kneels during the national anthem should be held as a disgrace to this country. You want to kneel? Go ahead. Kneel if you're going to pray. That's where the kneeling belongs. But when our national anthem, people that die for this country, get put to the front line, you honor and respect those people. Because those people will take a bullet any day of the week, any day of the year for this country. But at the same time, folks, I think there's a point in time you need not to kneel, like I literally said. I don't think you wear a Black Lives Matter across the shirt. What does that send? That sends more of a divideness in this country. Sure, Black Lives Matter. White lives matter. Every life in this country matters. If you have to put a color in front of that, folks, who's the one that's racist? Answer that question, right? Folks, players need to play and let the people of America decide politically where they want to go. Folks, I'm so disappointed in some of the things I see on the athletic fields. I'm disappointed in some of these things that players say. But there's also a lot of players who get it. They get it. They get the crap that we're dealing with in this country from this corrupted Biden administration, from these corrupted Democrats. A lot of players serve. A lot of players do great things. Okay? But we don't need to have political statements on the football field, the basketball court, the baseball fields. We don't need political statements in stadiums and arenas anywhere in this country. What's the purpose behind that? We don't need political statements on the pitcher's mound. We don't need political statements on our jerseys. Let's play for our country. Let's play for our fans. Let's play for mom and dad, right? Our parents. Let's play for our school. Let's get back normality in this country. Our normalization. That's what this country needs. A great comeback, not a great reset. I hope everybody understands where I'm getting at with this, because it has to end, folks. It has to end. This is some bad stuff, I want to get into the WNBA legend, Lisa Leslie, claiming that she was told not to make a fuss over the Brittany Griner story. More on that, folks, right after these words. Don't go anywhere. Be right back on the Patriot Angle podcast, guys. Your host, Michael Gardner, a host like no other, unscripted. Hey guys, if you're trying to engage your listening base just a little bit more, I highly suggest you tune in to this brand new feature on Spotify called Spotify Green Room. What is it? It is a app that is affiliated with Spotify that engages the podcaster with his listening or his following, right? His listeners or followers. Check out Spotify Green Room. What's great about Spotify Green Room, guys, is, like I said, it's the engagement, everything there. It engages your followers. It brings your followers more into your type of product, your podcast. your production. It's all there, guys. Spotify Green Room. Download it free today on the App Store or on Google Play, guys. Check them out today. Spotify Green Room.
Health treatment. Permanent funding for permanent solutions. Take action at casolutions.org. Guarantees hundreds of millions to fight homelessness and fund mental health treatment. Permanent funding for permanent solutions.
All right, guys, back here on the show of shows. I want to get into this next story here, kind of piggybacking off of what we're talking about today of wokeness. Literally, in the sports world here in the country. WNBA legend Lisa Leslie claims she was not told to make a fuss over Brittany Griner. One of the of WNBA's, right? That's the Women's National Basketball Association's most legendary figures, Lisa Leslie, revealed on a recent podcast that she was told not to make a big fuss over Phoenix's Mercury star Brittany Griner's detention in Russia, right? Griner has been detained in Russia since since late February. Was this year or last year? Okay, it is this year. Okay, sorry about that. Basically was detained in Russia since this late February after vape cartridges contain harnish oil, which were found in her luggage at a Moscow airport. Wow, this is pretty big stuff here. Basically saying that what we were told, and again, this is all sort of pass along through hearsay, guys, because some of this could be true, some of it can't be. What she had basically said on the I Am Athlete podcast, which was released just this past Friday, basically saying that we were not allowed to make a big fuss about it, which if she did, it could be used as a pawn, so to speak, in this situation in the war. Leslie said during the interview on that podcast, I Am Athlete podcast, this past Friday. She also went into saying that, so to make it clear and make it very important, I don't make it nowhere where we're like, free Britney, whatever the hell that means. I'm just quoting on what she had said, guys. Also, too, relating to this, that Jones did not reveal who instructed her to not talk about Griner or repeated the hearsay. So half the stuff that, that was said, I guess, in this conversation, it was hearsay. It could have been hearsay. It could have been, jibber jabber, not to, say it, I agree. We're just talking about, keeping politics out of sports. Yeah, it should be kept out of sports, without a doubt. Without a doubt. When not playing for the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury, Griner plays basketball for a Russian team called the UMMC Ekaterinburg. Griner also recently met with officials from the U.S. consulate in Moscow who described her as being in good condition. So this woman not only plays for the Phoenix Mercury team, but she also plays for a basketball team in Russia. Wow. That's it's pretty interesting, huh? The Phoenix Mercury star, right, and Houston native also had her detention extended to May 19th by a Russian court. Under Russian law, folks, the penalty for transporting drugs carries a sentence up to 10 years. Wow. That's pretty lengthy if you ask me. The U.S. State Department has vowed to do everything they can to achieve Grinner's release. So the U.S. State Department, working in cooperation, I guess, with the Russian courts, with this story here, with this debacle, if you want to call it that. Folks, that's pretty hard-headed, pretty hard-headed. So we're talking about the wokeness in sports today, the Lisa Leslie story, getting a lot of heat, from the WNBA's association, along with the Russian Basketball Association. So she's got some heat, guys. A lot of heat. Next story here I want to get into is the Utah literally overriding a governor's veto of the bill banning transgender youth in sports. Guys, this is a tough topic here, and it's really hard sometimes to talk about this topic because I know it's sensitive with a lot of different people. But this is coming out of Utah, where the governor's veto, they want to override the governor's veto of the bill banning transgender youth in sports. All right, here's my view on this, guys, and I'll give you my view before I go into this story here with you here on the podcast. Transgenders, I get it, guys. If you want to be a boy, be a boy. You want to be a girl, be a girl. But guess what, guys? Respect the gender requirements for those sports. We have gender requirements for sports for a reason. Okay? And this all goes back to this wokeness crap that we're seeing in this country today. Okay? Do I believe a woman should be able to play a man's sport? Right? Or a man playing a woman's sport? No. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't mesh well, guys. It doesn't. Yes, it's okay to, co-cabarate, to do it, while you're in like maybe grammar school or middle school. It's different. Kids are, basically socializing. But as an adult, it's different. It's different because when you're an adult, it's a lot different, okay? And, a lot of my listeners are probably saying, well, that doesn't make sense. But it does make sense. And I'll explain why. Okay? As you get to be an adult, okay, obviously, we're not allowed to dress in a woman's locker room as a man, and a man is not allowed to dress in a woman's locker room as a man or a woman, right? We're not allowed to do any of that. Why? Because we're freaking adults, man. Just like when you're children, right? A boy can't go in a girl's locker room, and a girl can't go in a boy's locker room, right? But is it okay for children to socialize in school? That's different. That's education. It's called gym class. That's allowed. But when you get to be an adult, folks, that's when the tides change. Okay? Now, we're talking about the story here, what Utah's state laws literally overrode a governor's veto of a bill that would ban transgender youth from competing on girls' teams just this past Friday. Governor Spencer out of Utah vetoed the bill just this past Tuesday because he tried to do what he feels is the right thing regardless of the consequences. That is the right thing. Kudos to Governor Spencer Cox of Utah for making this decision. Was it a hard decision? No. It's the right decision to make. Now, the Utah House, folks, voted 56-18, and the state Senate 21-8, giving the supermajority necessary to override Governor Cox's veto. 8 Utah legislators changed their initial votes and joined the supermajority. What? Like, why would they? You got 8 Utah legislators that literally changed their initial votes. So their initial vote was different from what they wanted it to be. They change it. How can you just change something? You know, like when your initial vote states otherwise from the vote that you pretty much edited, right? You shouldn't be able to do that. That's my own personal opinion. Now, the NBA's Utah Jazz literally issued a statement against this veto override, stating that the Utah Jazz oppose discriminatory legislation. We are committed to our values, our mutual respect, and fair play, the statement said. Beyond basketball, right? This is basketball we're talking about. Okay? Beyond basketball, we hope for a solution that shows love and compassion for all of our youth. Okay, I agree on that part, but here's the part I don't agree on. I don't agree on a fucking woman that wants to play in a man's sport. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with transgenders in the military. I don't agree with transgenders in sports. I don't believe in that. That's that woke culture shit that I do not support. And I'll never support it. Because it is a culture that is dividing our country to extreme levels. Also, the NBA's 2023 All-Star Game is scheduled to occur in Salt Lake City, Utah, in February of next year. However, the Bills' opponents were worried that the Salt Lake City would face the same fate as North Carolina. And we've seen this right after the NBA moved their All-Star Game from Charlotte after the state passed a bill ordering transgender. We've seen that with the All-Star Game in Atlanta. Similarities, right? Remember that? We all remember that. But this is when the NBA moved their All-Star Game from Charlotte after the state passed a bill ordering transgender individuals to use the bathroom of their gender assigned at birth. Yeah, no shit. You're a girl, you're a girl. You use the women's restroom. You're a man, you use the men's restroom, right? I mean, do we all have to be reminded of what a man is, right? Apparently, the new Supreme Court Justice nominee couldn't even answer that this past week in a hearing, right? When they asked her, what do you define as a woman? She was like, I can't answer that. What? You're being nominated for the highest court in law and in land, and you can't even answer that? Now, the Utah schools districts, guys, were similarly worried about the potential lawsuits from a pro-transgender group like the American Civil Liberties Union. They're worried? Sure, people are going to get, sued, and there's going to be suits put into the courtrooms and this and that. But guess what, guys? That's why we have laws in this country. That's why we are a law-abiding country. You need them. So you don't have nut jobs that try to take over society like what they're doing today. It's just, it's upsetting, folks. It really is. It's sad to see our country melting down as a fucking melting pot. It really is. Really, really sad. I'm very upset that as a nation, we have to suffer the consequences that we have to suffer from. It's really upsetting, guys. Really, really upsetting. More on this story, folks. We're going to close it out here soon here on the podcast, but I'm going to take my last break on the show, and we'll be right back on this story. Don't go anywhere.
That the neighborhood was going to have Google Fiber, and I was like, it's happening. It actually is like kind of a brainless decision. Like if you can get Google Fiber to just get it just gives us the freedom to not worry about the technicalities of internet issues. We don't have them.
All right, guys, back here on the show of shows. Let's get the show started, huh? Let's get the show started. Now, we're talking about the this woke culture shit, right? Mainly, you know, they want to have cross genders allowed in every type of sport, whether it's a man's sport, a woman's sport. It's allowed for a cross-gender to play in any type of sport they desire. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So, how are we going to explain to our next generation of youth that it is okay for a man to play in a woman's sport or a woman to play in a man's sport? How is it, like, you think that's okay? If you do, you know, hey, that's your opinion. But my opinion will always stick the same. I do not agree on this. I think this is sick, it's disgusting, and it's very disturbing. And the Utah legislative team, they believe the same thing. And I quote, saying that we are deeply disappointed. Yeah. Now, they also think that it's discriminating against transgender youth. Some of the Utah legislators, right? The woke legislators of what I call them. Saying that you're discriminating from participating fully on sports teams. This is coming out of the ACLU of Utah. And they said that litigation to stop HB 11 from taking effect is now both necessary and inevitable to ensure constitutional promises of equal protection for all Utahns. Okay, what they're trying to do, folks, is they're trying to pretty much mandate or, edit out the Constitution. You know, we use that word loosely, mandate. You know, they want to mandate the original Constitution. Now, I don't think, and I'm going to say this on the show, I don't think that our four founding fathers envisioned transgenderness in this country to be put on the Constitution. I don't think in anything that they had that vision. Because America wasn't America of what it once was then. We didn't have the crap that we had then when we were creating this country in 1776. We didn't have this crap then. A man was a man, a woman was a woman. Right? But however here, I'm going to close it out here in about a minute or two. However, to ease school districts from the fear of litigation, Utah passed what's called HB 3001, a bill to indemnify school districts and activities association from litigation stemming from the transgender sports bill. And this Utah's law will go in effect this upcoming July 1st. Now, folks, you know, if you feel that transgenderness should be in politics, sports, okay, the military, If you feel that it should be allowed, that's your opinion. But don't get upset with me if I feel that all this wokeness, all this crap needs to go bye-bye. Don't get upset with me. Because I think this is appalling, I think this is disgusting, and I think it needs to end. And that is my closing, folks, today on the show. Hope everybody tuned in today and enjoyed what you heard. If you'd like to listen to more, please follow me on my social media platforms on Facebook, the Patriot Angle Podcast. We are associated with our Facebook groups, Patriot Unfiltered Nation, as well as U.S. Freedom Fighters. Got a lot of great content going on U.S. Freedom Fighters group page, along with our Instagram page, Patriot_Angle_Unfiltered. Check that out, as well as our website, PatriotAnglePodcast.com. You're going to want to check that out, guys. Also, too, guys, I invite you to check out my merchandise website, PatriotUnfiltered.com. And we are now on Rumble. That's right, guys. Brand new content coming on Rumble, which is Patriot_Angle_podcast. We are just about on every platform. So a lot of content being posted to a lot of great platforms, guys. Check it out today. And as always, we hope to see you on the next podcast.
You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.